Excuse me! Taxi!
Come on, what are you doing? This is the 77 WABC minicast.
And joining us now here on Cats and Cosby with the latest. There's so much big breaking news today, especially everyone talking about Iran, is Lara Trump, host of My View with Lara Trump on Saturday nights on Fox News. Lara, boy, the stakes couldn't be higher for these talks tomorrow.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right, Rita. I mean, I think the entire world is waiting with bated breath, and rightly so, because, look, this was never just about the United States. Obviously, our number one function is to protect our citizens, which this president has been imperative in saying over and over again, putting America first and ensuring we are protected. But the rest of the world is also at stake if Iran ever is able to develop a nuclear weapon. And that's why this was so important. The time was now. The previous, presidents had kicked the can for so long. This president had it fall in his lap. He had to do something about it. But look, he solved 8 wars around the world the first year back in office. He likes peace. He wants to be known as the president of peace. And so, listen, I think we're all hoping that things go very well tomorrow in Pakistan, and that on the other end of this, we have an agreement. We have a ceasefire that continues. We have an agreement that Iran never has the ability to develop a nuclear weapon. We get the nuclear dust back. We have proof that they are no longer developing. And the best case scenario would be that the people there in Iran also are free after living under this horrific regime for 47 years. So let's see what happens.
Lara, John Katsimatidis, one important thing. It seems like Israel has an agenda with Lebanon, and it seems like the president, there was rumors around that he told J.D. Vance, I want to get out, I want to settle this and be peaceful. Do you have any pulse on the situation?
Yeah, well, I know the president wants to settle this, but I'll tell you, I've seen him in negotiations many times, whether, he's talking with his upper echelon of folks about this situation or other things, and he doesn't blink, and he doesn't play, a game that he's not willing to double down and triple down on. He wants peace. There's no doubt about it. Again, he wants to be known as the president of peace, but he's also not going to be willing to give up anything that could be detrimental to the American people or to the future. He talks consistently, John, about the fact that this is the time to do this so that it doesn't fall on the laps of our children and grandchildren and future generations. He doesn't want them to have to deal with this. But it sounds like from what Steve Witkoff has said, it sounds like from what J.D. Vance has said, my brother-in-law Jared Kushner, of course, involved in all of this, they feel very strongly that they are going to have the ability to make a deal. These are different people, you have to remember, than they were even dealing with a month ago. There's a whole new group of people. None of those folks even exist anymore. And I think they know that this president, this administration are very serious, and they're not going to blink, and they're not going to play chicken. They mean what they say. And so I feel very optimistic personally.
I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy.
Yeah, that is so great. Laura, you've worn so many hats, and obviously you were, co-chair of the RNC. I think about what the Democrats are saying, some of the rhetoric that we've heard in the last, few weeks. It's like, first they called him a warmonger. Now they're saying he's unhinged. What's your response? To me, it feels so un-American. We should all be rooting for the best for this president and for the United States against Iran.
Yeah, well, these people need to remember that they need to love our country more than they try to hate this president. And unfortunately, they've flipped those two things. They are so hell-bent on ensuring that they go against anything this president does that you've seen these lunatics side with criminals, with illegal aliens, with terrorist organizations in some respects. And now it seems like, to your point, Rita, they're rooting against America. And it's crazy to see, if there's one thing that I've been really looking at, this Artemis 2 mission, our incredible NASA program, putting astronauts back up around the moon. The next phase to come will be putting humans back on the moon again. It's really been amazing. That, I feel like, has brought so many of us together. Let's take a page from those astronauts who remind us we have more alike than we do different. We should all be championing this president and this attempt and effort to ensure, again, Iran cannot nuclearize itself, and that this is a good thing for the rest of the world. This is a good thing for humanity and for the future. These people are so obsessed with their Trump derangement syndrome, though, they really have a hard time seeing the forest through the trees. And I honestly, Rita, I kind of feel sorry for them because that is honestly no way to live. Despite that, this president will continue on. He's going to continue doing the right thing, and he wants to ensure the best outcome for everybody, including the Democrats.
Well, Laura, tell us about what you have on your show tomorrow night. I mean, I get all excited when you're in your flying jets and you're in the space capsule, and I'm waiting for you to be in a submarine again soon.
Good idea, John. Yeah, maybe that's the next step. Is I'll go.
You know, I turned that down many years ago. They offered me to be in a submarine for 3 days, and I said, I'm not sure I can take it.
Well, we saw the latest stuff in submarines a couple of years ago. I don't know if I'm too hot to get on one of those. But I will say this weekend I am back in a fighter jet. I'm talking to a former fighter pilot about exactly what happens when you eject. So we're going to talk about what happened to those airmen who ejected over Iran. Of course, we had the daring rescue last weekend that was so incredible to see. And what kind of training they give these airmen when they land on the ground behind enemy lines. You know, this guy only had a pistol to protect himself for 45 hours with a bounty on his head. So we're talking to Wiz Buckley, a fighter pilot, about that. I have General Keith Kellogg, who, of course, is going to break down everything going on tomorrow in Iran and with these talks in Pakistan. I also, speaking of the space program, I have a guy who's going to put a hotel on the moon. His name is Skylar Chan, and you can make reservations today, John. So maybe that's the next phase for you.
Does he want to check in advance?
Go straight to space. Yeah, maybe he does, probably. Yeah, he wants to check today. Well, I'll be on tomorrow night at 9 o'clock on Fox. I'll see you guys.
And when I miss it, if I miss it at 9 o'clock, it's also on at 3 o'clock in the morning in New York. So I watch it either 9 o'clock in the evening on Fox or 3 o'clock in the morning. I think it is on Fox.
You don't sleep, John.
I don't
love
sleep.
It, like our president.
Thank you so much, and have a great weekend.
Thanks, Laura.
Thanks, guys.